Never mind what you seen.
Never mind what y'all heard.
Seen and not heard. We here.
We here.
You know what I'm saying? It is us.
Yeah.
Tell the people your name. State your name, gangster.
They should know by now. Swang on beats.
Right.
We
Who
here.
else?
Who else but us?
Yes.
You know, real simple.
I'm just here.
I'm just
KJ. You know what I'm saying?
Art by KJ.
Art by KJ. You know,
Yes,
all that
sir.
cool stuff.
YVWM, your visual and me.
Of course. Aura.
Always.
Aura.
Aura.
Loading. It's time. It's time. Aura. It's time.
Loading up.
We about to. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fill
It's,
me in.
it's time.
Yeah, fill me in.
You already know.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, things can never happen without you knowing.
Yes.
But, oh man, I don't even know how to
Intro this?
I don't even know how to slowly broach the topic.
I mean, honestly, we're reviewing or just talking about Casablanco
Casablanco.
by Marsha. Is it Ambrosius?
Yes, Ambrosius.
right?
Ambrosius.
I was listening to her on Angela Yee, and she said, I'm pretty sure it's Ambrosius, but people are Ambrosius.
Oh,
were saying
okay.
That,
No,
which is
I
kinda
never
crazy.
heard that. Okay, got
Yeah,
you.
like it
Yeah,
kind of
no.
spells like Ambrosius, but
Got you. Yeah, Marsha Ambrosius.
straight like that.
I'm with you. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, entirely produced by Dre. It's
Yes.
a couple other producers too, but
But I mean,
it's
spearheaded.
Dre. Yeah,
Spearheaded staff. Executive produced by.
yeah. Definitely a lot of Dre drums on there. So
Replayed samples, things of that nature. I mean, which is just as to the instrumentation. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that project.
yeah.
It was, I mean, in true Dre project fashion, it's been in the making for a while.
Yeah, what did they say? 2021, 2020, 2021, somewhere around there?
It may have been before pandemic.
Yeah.
If not,
Yeah, but then the bulk of it,
Yeah.
they got a little spot.
I think they I think they
2 week stay.
they worked for a while, and then I
Yeah.
believe that they might have did some scrapping and retooling. You know,
A year to clear samples.
yes,
Heavy sample usage
for sure.
to be expected from a Dre project.
I mean, hip hop,
You know,
which is like a different take, in my opinion. Being, I guess, the resident R&B guy, I could have expected it to go another route, but you don't really know. It's like, all right, like a place that makes amazing waffles and a place that makes amazing chicken, but then they come together and make chicken and waffles. You're like, oh, okay. Like, that's what that's going to be like.
It's
if you get chicken from the best place and waffles from the best place.
But it's like, I know I'm eating the best waffles, I know I'm eating the best chicken, but doesn't necessarily taste the best together.
Right. And I think for some, depending on how much you listen to this and what you're looking for out of it, yes, it would make the best mashup because it's great. But just when you first hear the thought of it, you're like, okay, she's uber R&B, jazz, poetry, flowetry, going back to, you know what I mean? So not saying that she's not hip hop, but just not the person first on my list to think, who should get an all Dre produced project. Not a bad thing, just wasn't on the bingo card for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So for me, it felt more like I've been more accepting of R&B over the last handful of years. It's not that I was turned off from R&B. It just wasn't my go-to thing. You know, wasn't really didn't know who was who. And there's a lot of dope R&B artists. I mean, you've put me onto a bunch over the last handful of years, but it felt like to me, I was only familiar with her through Flowetry, and then the handful of times that she's popped up on rap artists that I fuck with, as recent as a Nipsey, you know what I'm saying, doing hooks and shit. So knew she was a great vocalist.
Of course.
Knew she was a great writer, but never listened to a full body of work.
Yeah.
Exclusively by her. You know,
I get it.
Probably Flowetry have heard a handful of records through my life and shit. But so this is essentially my first intro to what an album could sound like from her.
Right.
Double Down because it's my guy Dre.
Of course.
And, you know, if he's doing the album top to bottom, like, that's something I'm going to be interested in. So immediately, production across the board grabbed me. You know what I'm saying? Started off with Smoke. It's the same sample as MCs Act Like They Don't Know. And it's pretty much the same drums that Premier had on there. But, you know, they're a little bit harder. You know, it's Dre-style drums. You know what I'm saying? Definitely a little bit more distorted and shit.
Right.
On the nerdy production end, but immediately came in on some immediately came in on some rap flow shit, which it didn't turn me off because I knew what we were getting into. Like, we were fortunate to have a couple pretty good interviews that she popped up on to, you know, promoting the album and shit. Yeah,
Club,
yeah.
right.
So I was like, okay, let me see what's up, and I did like it, and I do like it. But what we were talking about makes me look at it differently. Again, that's why we're here. Not in a bad way, not in a bad way, but just when we get into it, like, you know, I like your take on what you told me, yo. So,
okay.
But I think it's good. I mean, I still recommend people to listen to it. We're talking about it because we definitely felt something about it, you know, whether good.
No, it's really good.
Yeah, it's really fucking good.
It's really good. It's almost, for lack of better words, it's almost too good.
Yo, it's
because it's just a
so
lot.
Polished.
It's a lot of good things happening. It's so many great things, and ironically, you know, we don't necessarily try to make it like a podcast that offsets other podcasts that we may personally listen to in our personal time. But you know, like we're heavy Joe Budden listeners.
Yeah.
And as much as, and I just literally just started this, as much as Joe Budden was happy, was happy in her presence naturally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Outside of him being phony, you know, because he says it himself, he's phony.
Yeah, he's phony.
But just him being a heavy music fan, I can understand him appreciating this. But I just thought about everything he would say about Silk Sonic.
Okay, yeah. Which was...
And how he would say
it's too polished.
It was too polished.
I remember him saying...
Like, he would get... And people would like it.
It sounded like it was too quantized.
Like, it did... Yeah, like, it didn't have, like... Like, it didn't have the grit and the mud of the vinyl or the feel like it was on the DATs
like
and all the...
Tape
like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't...
Capturing the warmth
like,
and all that
like,
shit.
Yeah, so...
Yep,
like, so I'm surprised that something so polished could be so pleasing to the ear. So I don't know if that was more of the phony in the moment vibes and just being in the presence of somebody that you have such admiration for, or if it was, or if it's just like, nah, whatever, nigga, shut up.
Word.
You know what I mean? Like, it simply could be that, like, nah, that's how I felt about that, and that's how I feel about this.
Yeah.
And your business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Word.
which is cool. Like, I just wonder. Because to me, like, I didn't think, like, I don't know. I didn't think Silk Sonic was, did I think it was a cleaner sound of a vintage sound? Of course. But I mean, I guess that comes with just doing something in this era from that era.
Yeah. 9 times out of 10, everything is recorded digitally in some form or facet, or it's mostly digital.
I mean,
because I'm like that with movies.
Yeah.
When we get to our movie segment, they did some cool shit.
Right.
That we'll end up talking about. But yeah, it's the same thing. It's like not a lot of things are recorded.
I mean, the things you used to have to pull off.
Analog. Yeah.
The things you used to have to pull off, just like sitting a mic down to catch the drums in an open room.
Right.
Like, I mean, the way you can record.
Each piece of your drum had to have a mic.
The way you can record a drum set now.
Yeah.
In comparison to 1970.
Yeah. The mics are better.
Like, come on. Like, but you're going to lose some of that feel.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
You know, like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, nah, I'm with you, bro. There's a lot of no. There's no. There's a lot of personality and feeling in the mud, in the grit.
Yeah.
Of analog recordings in general. You know what I'm saying? Digital or audio.
And I think a lot of it has to do with how the listener connects with the artist. Because let some guy outside of Walmart be trying to sell you a CD and it's not mixed, and you're gonna feel like he doesn't take his craft seriously.
Right. Yep.
But you know what I mean? Like, but let it be like someone with a minimalist approach, or let it be like Stove God or something. You can be like, oh nah, like it's because you're supposed to feel like you're in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like they'll flip
There's
it
no
for
drums
you.
on the whole project. You don't understand, yo.
Like trust me, like yo, let me be outside of Walmart slinging USBs to people, and then they're like,
What you trying to get my computer a virus, nigga?
not
Like,
even, bro. No drums. They'll be like, you can't afford drums?
Yeah.
But then let it be Griselda. They'll be like, oh man, like just taking it to the essence. I can feel it.
Did you hear that sample? Yeah. Yep.
So you know what I mean? Like it's just like it's always the fight for like the up and comer, aka the poor man, that has yet to run into the finances and or the level of influence to be able to be given the grace by the consumers, and like, you know, and peers, or you know what I mean, like those that will critique it, to be given the grace that like, oh no, he meant to do that. That was his artistic expression.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we go back to Kanye with the album cover of the Blank CD. Like, you know, you can't be in the parking lot selling that.
Yeah, which some alternative rock group did that shit 10, 15 years before he did it. Same type of cover.
But let a guy just be sitting outside of Walmart that like spent his last money on the mixing and couldn't afford copies of cover art. They'd be like, do you take yourself seriously? Why should I give you $5?
Did you handwrite that? Yeah.
But Kanye's joint looked like the Memorex CDR 70-minute joint. And it's fire. It's creative.
CDR, yo.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
man.
It looked like a rewritable joint.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's a fact. That's a fact.
But
let's get into your analysis, because I mean, not for nothing. Like, I mean, we could do the whole favorite track.
Yeah, we don't have to.
You know, we don't gotta. You know, I got a couple tracks where like I thought the beats was, like, you know, I fuck with Tunisian Nights.
Let's hear. Okay,
yeah,
let's go.
Yeah. Like I had, just real quick, I had Tunisian Nights. Like, again, because my experience with the album is more just from the production angle. I love experimental shit, and I just love sound. So Dre, how he mixes, how he puts his beat together, I'm sold. She's got amazing vocals. I'm sold on that. And the mix of the interpolation, the jazz to R&B to hip hop, back and forth, and sometimes medley. Wow, we talked about can be a little much. I still fucking, because it's like you fucking pulled it off. Could have been a little differently, and I love what you said, yo. But and that'd be dope to have another version of this. But it's an amazing feat, yo, because we didn't mention, bro, 27-piece orchestra at their disposal.
100%.
Crazy. Because when they go to do things like New York State of Mind and some of these other samples, yo, like when they're playing them live, they played The World Is Yours. They interpolated that sample, and I'm just like, damn, with the orchestra, sounds fucking crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
So definitely, I loved the Tunisian Nights and the Self-Care Wrong Right, because they went OD with the beat switches. Like that shit might switch like 3 or 4 times in the record. And I think that's definitely one of the longer records. Shout out to the 4 and 5 minute records, yo. Niggas bringing that shit back.
And I think, not to cut you off. I think it is a music lover's album.
Yeah.
Because
listening this weekend, I was really like, you really gotta fuck with.
As a music lover, I found myself being overwhelmed. The more I listened to it.
Okay.
You know, not in a bad way, but just like I was like,
it's a lot.
The song, like you said, like Self-Care. What is it? Wrong, right? I could have dealt with maybe like 1 or 2 less switches.
Okay.
And like sometimes you just want to like live in those moments a little bit more than you want them to switch. So, you know, like little stuff like that.
People had this same when I introduced people to the Schoolboy Blue Lips album.
Okay.
Similar. A lot of beat switches. I mean, shit. jazz and hip hop, like a
100%.
lot of that bridging.
that album.
Great fucking album. But I did have a close friend of mine put him onto it when it came out. He's like, yo, he attached himself to a couple records, but he's just like, yo, like it's kind of hard for me to listen to the full joint because he's like, yo, I'm not really used to all the beat switches. But then he came back to me. He's like, nah, I really sat and like just listened to it and absorbed it. He's like, I wasn't, preoccupied with some other shit. And he's like, nah. He came double back and he was like, nah, the album's definitely fire. This is fire, but I think we should probably just get into just you're just like, nah, go ahead and say it. I'm not gonna say it. Yeah,
all right, so first, all right, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to tell you guys a very long story. So at the beginning, when we first decided we were gonna do this album, I was like, yo, this album's fire, bro. And I just like sent it to you, and you're like, I think you might have been working.
I was
so you're like the texts are coming through all caps, like, yo, they're going crazy. We gotta do this. This is crazy. And I'm like, I know, my nigga. I know that we here.
Nigga, we was going, we haven't like
you hear this?
Fanned out on some shit in a minute. Yeah.
Like, nigga, do you hear this?
Nah, wait till you get to yeah.
Those were the vibes. Then I think we unfortunately you exit the honeymoon stage.
Cools down a little bit. Yep.
And when you return to it, and like I'm returning to it, and I hate to say, not looking for something to poke holes at, but kind of looking from a critical lens. And I'm like, okay, I know that I think it's amazing. I know that I think like every part of this is amazing, but I'm like, I'm almost feeling like this is a meal. And maybe like I'm being greedy, trying to eat everything that's on the plate, but I'm already full. Like, it's like there's a lot here. There's more than I needed.
For me, I started to get that feel after maybe, because it's what, about 3 weeks, almost a month old. So after like the first week, like I had listened to it 2 or 3 times the first weekend, was loving it, and then cooled it off, went back to it, kind of started to get that feeling. Didn't really know how to put my finger on it, but then as I started to listen to it more, I started just cherry picking records. Like when I was, in my day to day or, just in the whip, might bang out like two tracks on my trip and then I'm out. And I was still enjoying the album. I'm like, damn, I'm still getting that feel. I told you the car test is crazy.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? But this analysis has me thinking like, what, continue on what you were saying. Yeah.
So like to me, like, just like I said with the chicken and waffles analogy or whatever, like I just feel like there's so much talent in the room. You know what I mean? Like it's literally like if you had the person, like I said, when I said person that had the best waffles, person that had the best chicken, person that had the best sides. Like it's like all of these people are elite at what they do, and it's like, how do you tell any of them to dial back? So I felt like everything that was brought to the table was top tier. So top tier that it was like, all right, now we're going to put all this in a gumbo. And it's like these fool analogies are ridiculous. But like, we're going to put all this in a gumbo and like pray that it coexists. And like, if it doesn't, like, how can you even say no to any of the ingredients? Like, it's like, wow, like that piece of shrimp wasn't really what I expected, but it was amazing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, wow, okay, cool. Like, the vegetables fire, but like, I didn't necessarily, like, I feel like it was like, yo, like I'd hear like a popular sample played with a different instrument. And I'm like, oh, now you're speaking to my live show fandom because I love horns. But I'm like, I didn't expect,
crazy on this whole
but I
project.
didn't expect to hear New York State of Mind come in with horns. Like, and I was like, okay, oh, we got that too. Like, but I didn't expect to hear it. And then it was like, oh, okay, we got this too. Oh, I didn't expect to hear that. Then it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like at one point you're like, yo, I don't know what I won't hear. It's like, yo, there might be a random scratch come up or something. Like, you know, it's like, you know what I mean? You might hear the sound of a plane just like go from one end of the car to the other. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like every idea was allowed. Like nobody said like, whoa, all right, listen,
that's too much paint.
We could
on the canvas.
Like these canvases were.
I think in her
there was
travels,
no empty space.
Yeah, on her, yes, no negative space, yo, no negative space. And in music, it's important to use negative space, yo.
I won't even say it's important. It's oftentimes
at least
expected.
Or just a great tool.
I was about to say,
yeah, great tool to use. Yeah,
because I was gonna say, and oftentimes utilized. Sometimes the lack thereof is utilized, and sometimes the lack of how talented everyone else is can work against you.
Okay.
Because there's no music like this out right now.
No. It's not structured like this.
And it could be better, but it still stands out. Almost like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
Luckily for them, the people that will be confused by it probably will never hear it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you don't just, I'm about to say a terrible, like, I'm going to use a bad example only because it's like a name that just jumped to my head. But it's like, yo, like, you don't like go from like listening to like Ice Spice, then 4-2 Doug, then being like, oh man, like that Marsha that was like produced by Dre. Like it just, like those things don't happen.
It's not
like,
going to pop up in that
Like if
algorithm,
I told you Ice Spice, 4-2 Doug came on, then I was like, Marsha Ambrosius.
saying his name right, yeah.
Or Sexy Red. Which one do you think is about to come on next?
Yeah.
Bae, I love you.
Yeah, I knew
you my you know what I mean? Like, that's what
I hate that you even fuck. I mean, it's on social media, so you can't even escape it. Yeah.
That's the only place I would hear
Word, yeah.
Oh no, I heard it at the I heard the BET Awards.
Oh, okay.
Yo, and the crazy thing is,
I forgot she performed.
I'm not expecting her to be like people that like the look of it. It looks like something real is about to happen, but it's so satire to me.
That wasn't she like, out there with the microphone?
Oh, she was out there like, and they look like they about to do like
some
steps,
James
like
Brown
it's like
shit. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Okay.
You and the background singers, like it looks like it's about to go down.
That's hilarious.
But it's like it's so funny when you know you're not supposed to take it serious. That I'm like, oh, this is like karaoke on the BET Awards stage. Like I don't expect her to sing well. Like so, it was like adorable because it was just like obnoxious. Like, you know what I mean? Like I didn't expect it to be fire. Like, you know what I mean? Whereas other people, I'm holding the real standards like, wow, that was an off note. Like, didn't you just like that other shit? And I'm like, it was kind of supposed to be bad.
Man.
Like, but
funny.
my fault. Back to
good.
Marsha. Yo, listen, so like, I guess as an R&B fan, I just really want Marsha to give me an R&B album.
Yeah, straight. I would say you're more of a fan of her music overall than me, because like I said, this is my first real.
Or have more.
You know what I'm saying? I would be interested in seeing what the next, if there is a next one, because I know she don't drop.
Or I'll have you go back.
Go back?
I'll have you listen to her previous project and you'll hear like just.
Like what
the
a more traditional R&B album would sound like from her. Okay, word. Because, yo, she could get with, you know, obviously still tap Dre, because I think what he was able to achieve on this is fucking amazing. But, like, it's a lot of dudes that she could get in the studio with.
100%, bro.
It's not going to tell her no.
And I think, and even with Dre, like you said, to your point, I think Dre could have, along with staff, executive produced a more R&B album for her.
Like, so what, when you brought up this analysis, immediately the bulb went off and I compared it to what people said about the Group Home album by Premier and Group Home, where dudes at the time and now they just, they love those beats. They're like, you could have tapped Prodigy at the time. You could have tapped anybody, really. Yeah. And I was at like 94, 95, 96. Anybody at that time would have went crazy over those beats, And I'm pretty sure there's albums that are mixed up on Reddit right now that are all those beats with none of Group Home's acapellas on it, and dudes is going crazy. So, and as somebody that I hold Chronic and 2001 on a crazy pedestal, Dre is only on like 40%. If that, on both of those albums as a rapper. So like, imagine R&B Chronic.
But that's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
Like to me, I feel like
this could have been an R&B Chronic. You know what I'm saying?
It really could have, and she could have been heavily involved. She could have been, and I think like they could.
It still could have really been Dr. Dre presents Marsha Ambrosius, but then they just got this cast of, you know what I'm saying?
And then bringing in But I think at that point when you push it that way, then you're branding it in a way that they can actually bring in other people, and you don't feel the weight of it being a solo project.
Yeah.
Like when you're like, we are creating this concept called this, and we are pulling from all of our resources.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I hate to say it, but that level of album brings a Joe out of retirement.
Yeah, and
like, yo, I got
something
if you call Joe for a 32 for that, he's like, Dre?
Yeah, Dre.
Marsha?
Yeah.
I have to. And he'll do, you know what I mean? And you're going to get elite level raps.
Yeah.
And he's going to know that he's going to end up rapping, yo, I don't know what could happen. Like, it could be, like, the next song, the song before me could be Kendrick. I got to go crazy.
Yeah.
The song after me could be J. Cole. I got to go crazy.
The Dre Compton album, yo, I wasn't the biggest fan of, but you can tell
the work.
Exhibit ain't rapped in fucking probably 10 years at that time, yo, and he comes in and he's giving Dre his A game. Ice Cube ain't rapped in a minute. He comes in and gives Dre his A game.
The thing is, for the namesake alone, because Dr. Dre is who he is, he's at such an elite level at his craft that, like, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
There's not many verses you really think he can't get. With that being said, how can you half step if you get the call? You might just end up stuck on his hard drive. You may not make it.
Like,
so you got to go crazy.
A lot of shit. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You might go like you might end up next to Busta. You might end up next to Hove. There's no telling who or what. Like,
might be on the shelf with Bishop Lamont. Yeah, who knows?
You have to literally make yourself stand out while being great simultaneously. Yeah. So, who gets to just be great on a Dr. Dre album? Probably only Eminem. And when I say just be great, I'm saying like, no, Game has to be great and find a way to stand out and find a way to be palatable to the listener's ear. Like, you have to go through all of these checks and balances before you're gonna get pushed to the forefront and make his album.
Got you.
Like, Eminem could just rap really well. It could stick out terribly, but he's Eminem. And that's Dr. Dre. Their relationship is like that. So it's going to be fine. It's going to happen, and we're all going to skip it, and we're going to act like it happened. You know what I'm saying? And everybody that loves Eminem is going to enjoy it, and shout out to y'all. So I'm not going to say we're going to skip it. You like Eminem. I'm not an Eminem guy, so I'm going to skip it. That's track 8. Good. Never heard it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, did you hear the beat, though? Never played it.
Never, yeah.
Right to, like, my version of the album goes 7/9.
Data.
It goes 7/9. It doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? But I say all that to say this, like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody has to go to a next level. You have to be tasteful. You have to find out that, you know what I mean? Like, a vocalist has to be like, oh man, like, yo, like, that's a lot of pressure. He can call anybody. Like, it's not too many people that's gonna, like, hang up on Dr. Dre or say, let my people call you people.
I'm not. Yo, come chop these samples. All right.
Yesterday.
Yeah. I got already chopped. Matter of fact, I was already, you know what I'm saying? I've been had that.
I had an idea for you.
Yeah. Do what you want with that.
I just want, here's my hard drive. You listen to that while I work on something.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I don't waste this chance that you're giving me.
Straight like that.
But I think that they made an amazing project.
It's definitely worth.
It sounds like I'm not showing it love.
Nah. I got the receipts. Show this shit, show that nigga mad love, B.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just really, I don't know. Like, it's like, I think that her album, her R&B album, to me, especially her maturing, her being married, all this stuff. Like, I would have loved to hear.
Married kids now.
I would have loved to hear where that went, but we're here. You know what I mean? And I'm not mad at.
Maybe we still get that.
No, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
I just don't. I don't know. Like, it's like. Okay, the other analogy I gave you was like, if you've ever been at a club and, like, the DJ never plays the real song, it's like everything is just a mix. And you just feel like
the blends.
Like, the blends have just been going on too long. I felt like it was just so much mashup at one point for me that it was like I could have stopped at like 25 minutes of mashup and like had a couple of just straight through joints that just kind of cleansed the musical palette.
Yep.
And I probably would have felt differently. But it's like if there's 40 minutes, all 40 minutes, I'm going through those changes the whole time.
Small sidebar, but Tory Lanez Chicks Tapes. Chicks Tapes 5, don't got to go into it, but how they were able to pull that off, because it's another one that they had to go through a lot of checks and balances.
Right.
But that even has a few songs sprinkled in that aren't necessarily interpolations or sampled. It's some original
important.
music on there. Yeah, yeah.
Give the ear a break.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, okay, like Mary J. Blige, shout out to Monet. You know what I'm saying? Like she has a song All Night Long, and that's One Night Stand on here. And at first it was cool. Like, ooh, that's that. Oh, I know that. It's a familiar,
you get that familiar,
familiar
vibe.
sound.
Yep.
But after the familiarity wears off, I was almost like longing to listen to that. And it was like, oh man, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I'm like, you're getting it wrong. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, those aren't the lyrics. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she was like instead of like Mary going, ooh, not tonight, like she goes, just one night. And then it's like, and then I hate to say it, but like, okay, this is like writer snob stuff. But it's like the next line doesn't even rhyme for Marsha. So I was like, oh, that was like, I'm like, oh man, they should have made like, and I'm not trying to be so nitpicky, but it's like that's one that stuck out so much to my ear. And it's like she said something about like being on a chandelier.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I get that in the context of the theme.
Yeah,
you're talking about the level of wild,
baby. Yeah. She keeps going in and out. Yeah.
Because you're giving context to the wild sexcapade that the one night stand is. That's fire. But
I think I had in my notes. I'm like, this is one of the top 2 horniest songs on the project.
Heavy on the horny.
Heavy on the horny.
Heavy on the horny.
Isn't that wet,
Marsha?
Like, back
that's
to
what
back? Aren't they like
it
back to back?
It might be.
Yeah.
I was like, word, Marsha, that's how you giving it up? And I'm not mad at that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, but I just, it's like,
wow. It's like,
I'm used to the
food
rhyme
analogies.
scheme
Like, you gave us so much well-prepared food, but it's a lot for a meal.
Yeah,
like,
it's not just one sitting.
Yeah, definitely not. Yo.
Leftovers will taste great tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think, you know what I mean? Like, it's really fire.
Yeah, really. Like really I said,
fire.
I think it's worth a listen. It's good R&B. If we talked about a lot, but if you appreciate good writing, good production, fucking R&B, jazz, hip hop, like and well blended sample usage, because it's obviously a popular thing to do. It's been a popular thing for almost a decade in music now. We're resampling hip hop records, and
I'd put writing
when it's
last,
done like this.
No disrespect.
What's up?
No disrespect to them there, but writing would be last. Only because the production was such a star.
Yeah. Like, 27-piece orchestra.
Like, the production overpowers the writing level.
Cinematic in a lot of ways.
And I'll say this, somewhere between all of the elements of the production and the ability to improv with the jazz influence and the uses of scatting, like, there's not a lot of, like, stick to your ribs moments as far as, like, the lines that you pull through.
Yeah, there's, like, not that many hooks on this project.
No. Nope.
That just hit me. There's not a lot of
because
hooks.
you get a beat switch. You get a beat
straight
switch
into a new theme or a contrasting theme.
But that's typically where you get like a chord progression or something where the beat will go back to the original 8.
And she might hit you with a couple lines from the
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's smart, the way they put it together though. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this was like if you're planning a heist, it's a lot of shit up on that board,
Yeah,
for this. It's
a lot of things that got to get done right.
Yeah,
to pull this heist off, and they did.
And they did.
And they did. That's
did.
the crazy part.
Yeah. Shouts out,
Yo, shout out to them.
I should go hear that
for sure.
Yeah. Till next time.
Till next time, for sure.
What you see is what you get. It's what you get. Then what you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. What you see is what you get.